Can you improve your art without drawing anything? Yes you can. Some of these tips might seem a little bit unusual, but just let me explain. Remember, art is not a talent. You're not born with the ability to draw masterpieces straight from the womb, okay? It's a skill that you learn and develop over time. And like with any skill, sometimes you have to try something new in order to get yourself out of a plateau. So how do you do that? Posture. Yes, this is a thing. When you draw, do you draw like this? Or do you draw like this? If you draw like this, you can only draw so much until you run out of tension space. Same goes for using a stiff elbow. You can cover a wider area, but again your lines will be rigid and this will completely change the way your drawings will turn out. What you want to do is relax all the muscles in your arm and let your pen be guided by your shoulders. So like this. There's so much more freedom in your movement because suddenly you're not sitting up all tense like this and you're more relaxed. Fixing your posture is not something that will happen immediately. It will be something you have to practice and eventually your line work will thank you. How are you holding your pen? This one's actually a lot more important than I realized. The difference between writing and drawing is that when you write, you are using your muscle memory to recreate shapes that already exist. When you're drawing, you are creating shapes and angles that don't exist yet. So this means that you'll be a lot more relaxed when you're writing and you'll be a lot more tensed up when you're drawing. Let's fix that. Basically, it's about control. Writing is force and drawing should be effortless. If you hold your pen using your forefinger, try using your middle finger instead. And if you hold your pen using your middle finger, try using your forefinger. You actually might find it more comfortable and you might notice that your drawings are coming out a lot more controlled and a lot clearer. If you're learning how to draw, or if you're practicing anatomy, have you noticed that sometimes your sketches look a little bit off compared to the reference? Believe it or not, it's probably not you, but it's actually the way that you're sitting. I wish I knew this earlier. I wish that this was something that all of the art pros are talking about, because not only did it help me learn faster, but it also allowed me to restore a little bit more faith in myself when I thought I couldn't do it. If you're sitting back like this, that's fine if you know what you're doing. But if you're just starting out, stand up and look over at your page head on. This allows your brain to fill in the invisible guidelines, especially if your reference images are as large as your page. Because if you sit back, you'll be looking at your page from a perspective. Not a big perspective, but a perspective nonetheless. And it will make it harder to get accuracy because you're learning how to draw at a perspective. But if you position yourself standing over your drawing, you're not focusing on perspective. You're just focusing on your reference and the page. If you're not able to stand over your drawings like this, then line your chair up with a few cushions to bump yourself up and bring yourself as close to the page as possible. Even if you've got to put it on your lap. I recommend doing this in small bursts though because it isn't great for your neck. I did this trick a lot as a beginner and I noticed that once I figured out how to line up my drawing with the reference by standing over it, my drawings when I was sitting at a perspective ended up coming out more accurate. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful so far, leave a like, comment so I know to make more stuff like this and subscribe. Watch TV and play video games. Yes, I knew you'd like this one. Stuff like Into the Spider-Verse, Arcane, even anime like Naruto or One Piece. Every art style might be different, but the fundamentals will always be the same, they're just shown in different ways. So like in Spider-Man, you can clearly see the division of each plane in the face, but when it comes to anime, you'll see movements, body language and composition in ways that only anime can truly express. My favourite one to analyse is Arcane because it mirrors the Asara head so well that I feel like I learn something every time I watch that show. Observe the patterns, the way that the lighting has an impact on mood, the way that their expressions react to the lines and the curves and the planes of the face. It's about picking out the structural differences between some of the characters and then trying to understand why these decisions have been made. Even if you watch just a few scenes or if you analyse some of the stills, you should be able to dissect it and learn from it enough. Observe your surroundings. This is something that you can be doing right now. Literally observing the things around you and understanding why these things are happening. To give you an example, look at the way the shadows change in gradients depending on where the light is coming from. How harsh is the lighting? How dark are the shadows? How far out do the shadows stretch? Are there any shadows? Is having an effect on any items in the area? On top of the desk, under the desk, next to the desk. Do the exact same thing with people and watch how the lighting interacts with their facial structures, like their jaw shape or the lines on their forehead. There's nothing better than learning from life because you literally get to experience the marvel that is anatomy in real time. You can also try and manipulate the lighting as much as you want to and see the effects that this can have on a person or an object. Make mood boards or inspiration boards of other artists with different art styles. Every artist was inspired by another. Me? I was inspired by Devin Rodriguez, the train guy on TikTok, to learn how to draw. I thought that what he did was really cool, so I taught myself how to draw using video tutorials and lots of practice. And now, 4 years later, my art looks like this. Find artists that inspire you, that push you to grow and encourage you to keep drawing. Make mood boards of their art styles. I actually go into this in a lot more detail in my other video, how to find your art style. I'll put a link to it up here and in the description for you to check out. Just explore Instagram or TikTok or whatever and see what other artists are doing. Sometimes trends can inspire you to try something new, or you'll stumble across videos from artists of other mediums. Even if it's a color palette that inspires you, save the videos or make a list of the things that you want to try next. Don't trust your bad drawings, even if you really don't like them. Instead, compile them and put them away. In 1 month, 6 months, 6 years, wherever, you want to look back on those to see how much you've improved, and you will. This will only serve as more motivation for you to carry on. Remember the skills that you have learned since those older pieces and realize that the only way to avoid hitting that plateau is to constantly try new things. Who knows, it might even inspire you to redraw older artworks in your new style to see how much you've improved. You can never run out of things to improve on when it comes to art. It's always changing and evolving all the time, and new art styles and artists are always being discovered. If trying out one thing helped to improve your art back then, but it isn't working anymore, then it's a sign to try something new. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, give it a like, and leave a comment of any tips that you might have picked up along the way. And if you have any video suggestions or ideas, leave them in the comments as well. I want to be able to create content that you guys actually want. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.